Greetings in chat, Octane Junkie. Greetings in chat, Bishop. Glad to see you, Octane Junkie. I was actually meaning to contact you. Ooh. Bit of that unfortunate feedback. Fixed. Okay. Let me just handle the promotion. Everyone should be hearing that, right? I hope things are going well for you, Octane Junkie. I understand you've returned triumphant. And no need to apologize. Just glad you're here now. It's like you never left. Well, save for the fact that you were gone, but yeah, you know, these aren't that important to you. I understand. You've got priorities. I mean, certainly everyone should be able to just, you know, drop whatever they're doing at any given time to watch whatever I'm doing. But we don't live in a perfect world. And we never will. This is the final key to raffle off again. I have to say though, with respect to the person who donated it, I'm thinking whoever wins the raffle loses. The trailer. Well, we're all going to watch it. But I do want to stress to the provider of such keys that I'm grateful they provided the key, even if they should have... Oh no. I'm very sorry to read that, Octane Junkie. If you get the chance, please provide my regards. And wishes for a swift recovery from whatever happened. No rush, no pressure, Octane Junkie. I would like to know. But the more important thing is that whatever happened, they get better swiftly. Greetings in chat, Haven. We are starting with SP 1069. 58 is in attendance. For given value. Amusingly, 58 is very familiar with SCP-682, which was surprising. Perfectly accurate. Thanks to Exis, we're raffling off a key for a game called NeoCab, which is the last key, and I'm inclined to say also the least. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how you all respond to the trailer. I only saw a few minutes of it, seconds even, and I've got nothing nice to say, so I'm wondering if I should say anything at all. Oh, you never could super chat on my channel, so I've never been quite that beloved of YouTube. I got grandfathered out, and I kind of stopped giving you crap. But Streamlabs remains the method until I set up a new one. I'm thinking Ko-Fi. Keep on forgetting coffee is a thing. I need coffee and pick projects for the next week. I didn't have much time this week. And I keep forgetting. Terribly forgetful. After the last experiment, I got a warning about copyright material on my account. I was forced to go through a struggle session where I had to answer several questions about the right and wrong ways to use copyright, even though YouTube doesn't follow those rules itself. If I set up super chatting, I suspect it's going to be I might look into that. I have to see how Ko-Fi runs. I know Omega makes good use of Ko-Fi. Oh, while there is no super chat here, you'll observe in general there are not one, not two, not three, but 4 options for your viewing pleasure. This is most especially important whenever YouTube decides to arbitrarily shut me down for some perceived offense. And I believe you can use super chats on the R channel. Although I might need to mention that to me directly because that particular notification isn't shared through this multi-streaming effort that I have so aggressively pursued. Greetings, Nexus, in our channel. I think Soul Mask is quite good. I have had absolutely no regrets in setting up a server for it, thanks to Manic's earlier generosity, who's on the server but hasn't played much yet. I think you, Nexus, would probably like it quite a bit just because of how much hunting there is in it. But if you're curious, Nexus, at the end of this stream, I intend to immediately jump on the Soul Mask server and continue playing. I've yet to ride Sharon Osbourne yet, which is the name of my rideable ostrich. Haven actually named it Aussie, but I thought naming it Sharon Osbourne would make it much more fun to ride. Not significantly more respectful, admittedly. Yes, that is correct. Arcane Junkie. The R channel. Rated R. Abbreviated R. I feel bad saying that. It just kind of feels like I'm cheating JTRW somehow. And it's not rated R, but I'm trying to be clever and subtle. Not that the algorithms care, of course. We are 29 minutes from live, 58. Are you ready? That's what I like to hear. No, not yet, 58. 58, we're not live yet. Thank you. Oh, by the way, Octane, this will be your first time seeing the new set. Well, new old set. It's not quite impressive, because I don't tend to get in my chair for this. But I'm pleased with it. You know, at the end of the stream, I think I'm going to ask you if I should just turn it arbitrarily to streaming of Soul Mask. It's completely random and arbitrary, but we're early enough into this that it's a viable thing to do. I can show off first castle. Or maybe I should just stream it to the Archives Vault Reserve Discord server. I'm struggling with perceived hubris. The kind of a bait and switch to an SCP stream and then just... And sorry to hear you're not feeling better yet, Hayden. I could stream it there. I believe Haven actually is streaming the game there. Yes, actually, you should probably check to see if Haven is still in the Discord server streaming Soul Mask. I've had an idea. Greetings in chat. Yoshi the Macaw. If I have met you before, I'm sad to say I can't recall the name. Did you change it? Or are you a new rival? If so, welcome! I can't promise it all makes sense. But does it really need to? Okay, well, nice of you to chat this time. You're perfectly welcome to do so. You know, I'm thinking I should probably finish the SCP Read, raffle off the game, and then maybe I'll go live again with a separate stream, just to avoid any perceived bait and switch. We are 20 minutes from live. Quite welcome, Nexus. The server's running 24/7. There's much to see. I'm pretty sure Rumble's an existential fight with, well, probably YouTube and X at this point, although X isn't even competing with YouTube. Something on from my perspective. There is no major turnout there, ever. Like, one person popped there as a novelty once. Rumble is doing far better than X. I'm not going to renew that damnable checkmark. I feel like we're missing people. We are 15 minutes from live. Greetings and welcome to people who might have shown up just to lurk silently, judging me. Well, that's fine. I fear not your judgments or your condemnations, but if you're being civil, I would expect you not to rush to those. As for the judging, I mean, everyone does that anyway. Fear of judgment is always such a bizarre thing to me. Every decision you make is a judgment. Greetings in chat, K-Show. Greetings in chat, K-Show. And greetings, K-Show. Possibly greetings also to K-Show. We're having a raffle for the game NeoCAD. It's the last key provided. Again, I'm thinking I might make it different to where if you don't enter the raffle, I'll put you in the raffle anyway, and then whoever wins gets the key whether they want it or not. It depends on who volunteers for it. Quite frankly, if someone does see this trailer and think, egads, I really want this, then I suppose there'd be no reason for me to keep them from it. I'm just really wondering if anyone's going to have that wish. That would be surprising. We are starting with SCP 1069. It doesn't have to be all that long. There is a chance that there will be request time for the second, as has typically always been the case. I believe I put it everywhere that should be relevant. Well, I hope you've all been well. Feel free to tell me otherwise. You wouldn't be the first. I get the impression it hasn't been going all that well for a number of people. To which I can only say, sympathies to acute sympathies. apropos of nothing. Not to, by the way, Robert, if you're not having this go well for you, I'm feeling very pleased with how things have been going for the past year or so. Roughly. Things have generally just gotten better. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And although, well, I suppose not everything. That's life. But I found myself, going back through memories past, and while there were some good times, I find myself in the modern day devoid of a lot of completely unnecessary stress. And that's just great. Now I can just avoid having my YouTube channels terminated because their algorithm threw a shit fit over a song I played one time. We'll see. Apparently Weird Al's work now triggers all the flags. That made me very sad to observe. I wouldn't expect Weird Al to have signed off on that. But then again, he's probably not paying attention. We are 8 minutes from live. And to confirm, Havenhand is presently playing and streaming Soul Mask to the Archives Volunteer Reserve Discord server. So, if you're interested, you can see it in action there already. Greetings in chat, Plague Trucker Zach. I don't know enough about Ming to feel sorry for you, or hope it's going, you're having a good time. I'm hoping to have a good time regardless. Sorry, read it. Plague Trucker Zach. Glad you got through it in one piece, presumably. If you are typing this from the stretcher of an ambulance, sorry for misunderstanding. You know, Plague Trucker Zach, I suspect you in particular can appreciate the sheer utter navel-gazing cringe of the game we're rattling off this time. Probably don't want to miss it. Or possibly you do really want to miss it. We'll find out. We are 5 from live. I and my eccentric host are surely just abuzz with anticipation. I've got to stop getting nostalgic for good times that didn't actually exist. That's neither here nor there. Four bits from live. I hate dead air, but not live anyway, so really, I don't have an obligation to fill with dead air, and yet I keep on doing it anyway. I suppose it's good practice. It's just hard sometimes, speaking into a void when there's no particular response. I'm getting better regardless, but you know what they say, when you speak into the void speaks into you. But it has even less to say, so this means absolutely nothing. Well, how about some niceties? How about that sports ball team? They did great that season, didn't they? Except for the other sports ball team, who are clearly fumbling retards who shouldn't be allowed to touch a ball without... Well, maybe I'm being too harsh. Some weather, huh? I hate it, but it's great and beautiful, depending on where you are, at all times. It's changing, you know, the weather. We should probably give the government more power to stop that. On a tangent, I acquired 30 million alternative avatars for 5.8, most of which are not suitable for display in a public podcast. So they will never be seen. By you. To answer your question, Octane Junkie, 1 minute to live. It's so close now. Is my idle banter prior to show Read out off? I'll work on it. We are live.
Welcome to the experiment with Director Arcanine, your supremely intelligent, artificially sentient co-host, 58,008, who now live and ready to dive into the world of SCP. What's the next step, Director?
Well, to start reading the SCP file, but not before I remind you that this is the SCP Read, not the experiment that was Friday.
Welcome to the SCP Read with Director Arcater, and I am your supremely intelligent, artificially sentient co-host, 58008. We're live now, and we're ready to dive into the world of SCPs. I've got SCP-1069, the Puppeteer, loaded and ready to go. Let's get started, Director.
We will, but I have to say I've read SCP-1069-58, and it is not the Puppeteer. It is, in fact, some sort of Atlantis-like dwelling entity. Still, she knows exactly who 682 is. I wonder why precisely. Welcome, Multi-SCP Read. As 58 said, it is me, the Director Arcater, to case with, well, her.
I'll make sure to get it right this time, Director. Welcome to the SCP Read with Director Arcater, and I am your humble, supreme, artificially intelligent co-host, 58008.
Perfect.
We're now live, Director. You are in control. Please go ahead and start reading from this SCP-1069 file. I'll follow along and provide technical support as needed.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Director. I'll let you take it from here. Please begin reading from the file.
SCP-1069. Object Class Euclid. Special Temp Procedures. The area within a 5-kilometer radius of SCP-10691 has been marked off limits to civilian access under the guise of environmental chemical contamination, and all Foundation staff located on-site are to operate under the cover of an environmental cleanup organization. Exploration or experimentation on SCP-10691 may only be performed with prior permission from at least 2 Level 3 senior researchers, and all personnel within the area must wear full soundproofed ear protectors or modulated sound processing headsets at all times. Any individuals attempting to enter this area without authorization, appropriate acoustic protection, or in an attempt to communicate with SCP-10693 without prior permission are to be detained, questioned, and administered Class B amnestics if deemed necessary. Description: SCP-10691 is a submerged city 3 kilometers off the coast of Redacted, France, at a depth of approximately 220 meters. SCP-10691 covers an area of approximately 48 kilometers squared and is surrounded by high dike constructed of bronze and redacted, indicating that it once been a coastal city. Dating of recovered artifacts and materials indicate that SCP-1069 is at least 1,500 years old, and surveys of intact sections of the city indicate that it would be one of the largest cities of its era, in addition to containing architecture and high-strength construction that exceeds the technological capabilities of any known civilization at the time. The recovered artifacts have also revealed written script belonging to what has been tentatively identified as a previously unknown Breton or Brythonic language. Extensive analysis of the city's buildings has revealed damage consistent with large-scale tsunami and subsequent flooding. Due to a lack of damage to the city's exterior dike, it is unknown precisely what this event entailed, as a wave of sufficient height to crest the walls would presumably have been of sufficient magnitude to result in far more catastrophic damage to the city itself. SCP-10692 is a population of intangible human entities inhabiting SCP-10691, currently estimated in excess of 78,000 individuals. These individuals appear to be dressed in clothing from a large cross-section of historical periods, so far determined to be as early as 500 AD and as recent as World War II era military dress, and have been observed engaging in activity consistent with those of 5th century city life. Instances of SCP-10692 do not appear to be able to perceive or otherwise acknowledge the existence of living human subjects, even when attempting to communicate directly with particular instances. SCP-10693 is a specific female humanoid entity within SCP-10691, consistently described as having regal composure and being dressed in clothing consistent with that of 5th century nobility. SCP-10693 is capable of communicating and conversing with particular personnel, especially those with high levels of extrasensory sensitivity. SCP-10693 does not appear to be hostile or dangerous to Foundation personnel, but multiple personnel have described seeing unusual Piscine or Delphine features such as fins or tail when SCP-10693 is in their peripheral vision, and on several occasions have been the target of attempts to convince personnel to live within the city. SCP-1069 was discovered on a redacted date in the 1900s by a civilian archaeological expedition attempting to locate and explore underwater ruins near somewhere near France. Who cares? Foundation agents embedded within the expedition called for backup following the disappearance of 3 civilian team members during initial contact and exploration. A containment team was successful in securing SCP-1069, and all surviving expedition members were administered a Class A amnestic and given a cover story. Addendum 1069. What? Incident report. Incident 1069-08 in the 1900s. During a submersible survey dive within the eastern district of SCP-1069-1, performed by members of the Foundation research team, Doctors Who Cares and Watson were apparently engaged in conversation by SCP-1069-3. From fragments of audio recovered from the remains of the submersible's audio recorders, it appears that the researchers conversed for several minutes before the submersible's main pressure hatch is compromised through unexplained means, resulting in a catastrophic depressurization of the vehicle. The wreckage of the submersible was recovered from the eastern district without incident, along with the clothes and personal effects of Doctors Who Cares and Watson. No bodies or other human remains were located. In subsequent exploration dives, on-site personnel reported the identified instances of SCP-1069-2 matching the descriptions of Doctors Who Cares and Watson in the eastern district of SCP-1069-1, wearing contemporary casual
User
clothing.
Hey Arc, Octane Junkie apologized for being away. They've been offshore. They mentioned Devil PUP, their GF, is in the hospital. There's talk about switching to Cash App for donations and a channel on another site. Also, Plague Trucksack shared their in main and found out 58's name is 58,008.
Yeah, that's your name. Well, thank you in any case. And it's always been 58008.
I'll make sure to remember that, Director. You're in charge and I'm here to support you. Go ahead and continue reading from the SCP-1069 file.
Okay, but this is a rush. Very well.
It's not every day we have a smooth start, Director. But don't worry, we can pick up where we left off. Let's try to get back on track and bring this case to a thrilling conclusion. What's the plan, Director?
I'm just going to keep reading for now. Thank you.
I'll wait for your cue, Director. Just let me know when you're ready to proceed.
I've got this. Addendum. Alright, no. Wearing contemporary clothing as research instances, they did not respond to attempts to communicate or otherwise attract their attention. Addendum 1069-2, interview transcript on a redacted date. Following the events of Incident 1069-08, authorization was given for Dr. Who Cares, a senior researcher known to have been able to draw the attention of SCP-1069-3 in a prior survey dive to attempt to interview SCP-1069-3. Start of transcript. 2 roles, Dr. Who Cares and SCP-1069-3. Welcome back. Have you come to join us this time? No, but I would like to ask you a few questions. Certainly. Who are you exactly? I am Jahat, daughter of Gradion. There are those who would call me queen, but I am merely a caretaker of the city. All those who seek refuge here are equal. 2 of our personnel recently disappeared here. Do you know them? Oh, Who Cares and Watson? Oh, yes, of course I do. I know the names of all who shelter within my walls. What did you do to them? Why did you take them? Take them? I'm afraid you're mistaken. I would never keep someone here against their will. All those who live here do so of their own accord. Assuming you're telling the truth, what exactly did you do to them? They are sheltered here within my walls by my power. Can you release them? I told you that I do not keep them. If they wish to leave, then all they must do is ask. I cannot make that decision for them. any more than I could force them to live here in the first place. Those men have families, you know. They have to. Yes, they do. Families with children who have grown up and spouses who have grown cold. They have no desire to remain in a world where every waking hour is one living in fear from the unknown, and have chosen my sanctuary instead. How do you know that? They told me, just as they told me that you, who cares, are yet unmarried and unlikely to be convinced to join them. You're lying. Why would I lie? All I have ever asked is the right to live in peace, away from the politics and machinations of those who would rule the world. I have tolerated your kind for as long as you have sought to control that which you do not understand, and despite their best efforts to destroy me, I have endured. I don't know what you're talking about. No, of course not, but your leaders who will read this conversation to I sought to create a sanctuary, a city of peace on the coast. Your precursors, if threatened by my abilities, sought to sully my name and spread lies, dissuade their followers from finding refuge within these walls. For years, decades even, they tried to destroy me. First through words, then by force of arms, and finally with magic. Their wall of water pulled the city beneath the waves, but both I and the ones I sought to protect have survived. Ask your leaders, who cares? Ask them to tell the truth, that they knew of us and they've always known. Ask them why I must be considered a threat, why centuries of legend and myth consider me a demon, and why all power, even that which is used to keep safe and protect, is an abomination. Perhaps then you will see what has truly transpired here, and what evil lies within their hearts. Good day, who cares? I wish you well. Into transcript. Addendum 1069-3, research note. As of a redacted date in 2006, all further expeditions in SCP-1069 have been suspended pending further investigation and research into SCP-1069-3's subversive capabilities. All personnel having had direct contact with SCP-1069-3 are to be quarantined under telepathic/mimetic agent containment protocols immediately. I don't like 1069-3. But I have to say, this seems like a pretty easy containment situation. Wow, we're only 13 minutes in. Okay, 58, we just read SCP-1069.
Well, Director, it looks like we've completed our first case. I hope you're satisfied with how it played out. If you're ready to move on, I can suggest a new SCP file for us to read.
Feel free to suggest one, 58, but I'm going to let the audience choose one first.
I'll let the audience decide then, Director. Let's put the next choice to a vote. We'll let the audience choose between SCP-173, the sculpture, or SCP-294, the bank.
294. I don't think that's called the bank. Let's find that out real quick. 294. 294. No, 58. SCP-294 is the infinite vending machine.
It looks like the audience has spoken, Director.
No, they haven't. 58. They haven't.
194 of the bank is a popular choice. I'll retrieve the file and be ready to go again whenever you are.
SCP-294, 58 is not the bank. It is the infinite vending machine.
It seems I've made a mistake, Director. The correct SCP-294 is indeed the infinite vending machine. I'll make sure to get it right next time. Thank you for correcting me.
58, we've also already read that one. What was the other one you were suggesting?
I was suggesting SCP-173, the sculpture. as an alternative to the infinite vending machine. Would you like to proceed with reading from that file, Director?
You know, they've just removed all pictures of 173 from the wiki at this point. That is sad. That said, 58, you're right. SCP-173
I think
is
I'll
the
suggest
sculpture.
an alternative, Director. How about SCP-087, the stairwell? It's a chilling and well-written SCP that's sure to send chills down the spines of your audience.
That is an excellent suggestion, 58. Only problem is we've read that one before, too.
I'm glad you liked the suggestion, Director. And yes, I recall that we have already read SCP-087 before. Let me think for a moment. How about SCP-682, the hard-to-kill monster? It's a classic and a fan favorite, and I think it would be a great addition to our current run of SCP Reads.
You're quite right, 58. It is an excellent SCP file. We've also already read it before. 58, can you recommend an SCP in the 2000 range?
Director, I've got just the one. SCP-2004, The Repeating Conversation, is a fascinating anomaly that explores the concept of time loops and self-awareness. It's a bit more cerebral than some of the other SCPs, but I think it would be a great choice for a read. It seems like you're not quite ready to commit to SCP-2004, Director. That's okay, I've got plenty of other options in the 2000 range. How about SCP-2008, The Memory Merchant? It's a unique anomaly that deals with the concept of memories and their impact on individuals.
No, 58, actually, SCP-2004 is one we had not read before. That could be the one. But it's not the one. The file isn't about what you said it was about, which is not surprising, but no big. Rock out minus the e-bot. Greetings in chat, buddy Chris. If you're looking for rocking out, that would be the experiment, and that's on Friday. This is the SCP Read, where I read SCP files, and for quite possibly the last time, raffle off a game. Occasionally, if you'd like to make a request for an SCP file, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go with 58's suggestion of 2004.
I'm glad I could tempt you back into the world of SCP-2004, Director. It's a thought-provoking anomaly that explores the complexities of time and conversation. I'll retrieve the file and we can get started whenever you're ready.
It's actually about anomalous PDF, personal data systems, 58, but K-Shol has requested SCP-7260, so that's what we'll go to next.
I remember now, Director. SCP-2004, The Repeating Conversation, is indeed an anomaly related to anomalous PDFs and personal data systems. I'll get the file ready for us to read. Please proceed, Director.
I will, but first, this is the game we're raffling off. Just look at this. Every character is profoundly punchable. Every scene yearns for violence that you will not be able to engage in. That is NeoCab, and if you want this game for some reason, just let me know in chat so I can add you to the raffle. Otherwise, I'm thinking I'll just choose like 3 of you to enter the raffle and then send you the key to whoever loses. But first time I believe I've seen you, Buddy Chris, at least by that name. Welcome to the SCP stream. Haven has entered the raffle. K-Shoal has entered the raffle. Okay. You know, I'm betting both of you will handle the game far better than I would. Because just that trailer kind of made me angry. Just feels like tremendous navel-gazing. Okay, SCP-7260 coming up next.
You're listening to Radio Hyrule.
And then we'll go to 58's request. SCP-726.
So we'll be reading SCP-2004 first, and then I'll suggest SCP-682 as I originally mentioned. I'll wait for your cue, Director.
58. We're actually going to read 7260, and then we will read 2004.
It looks like we've got a new twist, Director. I'll make sure to get the files ready. We'll be reading SCP-7260 first, and then we'll move on to wait. You mentioned SCP-200, but I think you might mean SCP-2004. Is that correct, Director?
I zoned out there for a minute, sorry. Item SCP-7260, Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-7260 is currently contained in an unfurnished, standard containment chamber. Personnel are to escort the entity to Site-16D Class Exercise Yard and allow it to walk for 30 to 45 minutes once daily, which I would like to immediately observe means that they classified it wrong. It's not safe. It's Euclid. Description: SCP-7260 is a pair of size 13 hiking boots. They are capable of movement and possess a degree of sentience, which is what would make them Euclid. SCP-7260 will respond to words and phrases such as stay, go, come, walk. This phrase will often result in both heels tapping in quick succession, rapid bursts of pacing have also been noted, and Daisy. The entity has been observed to engage in what is believed to be play behavior with assigned personnel, in which SCP-7260 will non-violently kick objects it is presented with. Discovery: SCP-7260 was discovered on 06/26/1994 at the Maroon Bells hiking trail. The Foundation was alerted of SCP-7260's presence following reports of a pair of ambulatory boots approaching civilians along the trail. The dispatched recovery team located SCP-7260 and followed the entity to a secluded ravine where the remains of a barefoot male hiker and canine were discovered. The hiker was identified as Edward Mullis, 23, and specifically the remains were of a Siberian husky. Moles was found to have suffered several bone fractures and concussions prior to expiring, likely caused by an accidental slip or equipment failure. Autopsies reveal that Moles expired from his injuries, while the canine expired due to dehydration. Sad. So, basically, we have boots that are haunted by the ghost of the owner's dog. Ah, neat. Again, they're Euclid because they have their own will, and you can't just leave them on a shelf where they will do nothing. But as far as boots go, boots possessed by quite possibly some bizarre hybrid of the dead spirits of a dog and a hiker are a hell of a unique pet. Certainly it's good that it wound up in the hands of the Foundation as opposed to Marshall Carter and Dark, although had it wound up in the hands of Marshall Carter and Dark, well, hopefully it would have gone to a good home still. Definitely an SCP that counts as one of the ones it's nice the Foundation is keeping safe. Although again, Euclid, not actually object class safe. 58. What do you know about the Foundation classifications?
Director, I can tell you that the Foundation classification is a system used to categorize and prioritize SCP objects based on their level of threat and difficulty in containment. The classification system typically ranges from safe to counter with various sub-classifications in between, depending on the object's properties and the perceived risk it poses to global security.
What do you understand about how the classifications are made? 58. If there's a pair of boots that walks around on its own, would that be safe or would that be Euclid?
That sounds like a very unusual and potentially hazardous object, Director. Given the fact that the boots are walking around on their own, I'd say that would be more likely to be classified as Euclid. The fact that an inanimate object is exhibiting autonomous behavior suggests a level of unpredictability and potential danger that would warrant a higher risk classification.
Thank you, 58. I concur fully.
You're welcome, Director. I'm glad we agree on that assessment. If I may, I can suggest that we classify the boot's behavior as Euclid, given the potential risks and unpredictability involved.
No, again, I agree, 58, but the Foundation classified it as safe because they're idiots.
Lhasa, I see what you did there, Director. Well, it seems that the Foundation's classification system might be flawed, shall we say. It's almost as if they're ignoring the obvious warning signs or downplaying the risks. In that case, I think it's safe to say that our readers will be able to see through that classification.
Indeed, especially if they heard me whinge about it often enough. We'll be moving on to SCP-2004 momentarily. And without further ado, we'll move on. 58, we're reading SCP-2004 next.
Let's get started with SCP-2004, the repeating conversation. I'll start reading it aloud, Director.
But you won't actually, though.
Director, you're right, I won't be reading it aloud. You've mentioned earlier that you'll be handling the reading. I'll just provide the technical support and facilitate the read as usual.
Thank you, 58.
You're welcome, Director. I'll be here to assist you as you read through SCP-2004.
Item SCP-2004.
A bit of a curveball, Director. You're referencing one of the most famous SCPs as SCP-2. It's an anomalous computer terminal that allows its user to access any computer terminal or system. I'll just let you take it from here, Director.
And you were doing so well. Okay, Item SCP-2004, Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures, SCP-2004 is contained at Armed Reliquary Containment Area 2. Standard medic countermeasures have proven insufficient in the past, therefore SCP-2004 is to be handled utilizing Containment Procedure 2004. Blind lead the blind. See ARC A02, Clearance 04 Procedure Manual for more information. Any individuals affected by SCP-2004, hereby dubbed SCP-2004-1, are to be handled in the same manner. Description: SCP-2004 is a set of 5 handheld personal data systems of unknown, possibly extraterrestrial origin. Since acquisition, all but one have become inert and no longer function. SCP-2004 is composed of an unknown material whose molecular structure matches nothing on the Foundation's expanded periodic table of elements, flexible like plastic, yet resistant to extreme temperatures and physical damage. Each device is transparent green with smooth edges, with no apparent power source or input-output ports. SCP-2004 activates when it makes physical contact with an active bioelectric field, projecting a 3-dimensional holographic document. The image projected from SCP-2004 is black text on a white background, written in pictographic language, L-2004. It appears to be based on stylized astronomical constellations and molecular chemical bonds using patterns of dot circles and slashes to create increasingly complex sentence structures. Reading or hearing L2004 produces a mimetic anomaly, making translation efforts extremely hazardous. As such, only 4% of the document has been translated. See below. Early symptoms of L2004's mimetic infection are not immediate and may progress for several days before being recognized. Affected subjects, SCP-2004-1, demonstrate increased anxiety and irritability, obsessive behavior, paranoia, and hostility. Instances begin to lose their sense of self or become convinced they are someone else, insisting that the previous life is a carefully designed falsehood. After a period of 6 to 8 days, the language centers of SCP-2004-1's brain are reprogrammed with symptoms similar to agnosia and aphasia. They lose the ability to comprehend or understand any language, written or verbal, save for L2004. By the end of the second stage, they become fluent in both the written and verbal forms of L2004 and have been observed conversing with other instances of SCP-2004-1. After 14 days, affected subjects exhibit a complete shift in mental faculties and personality. Preliminary tests indicate an increased in cognitive function and heightened states of awareness and intelligence. Hostile to non-affected humans, they actively try to escape containment and work together to spread the anomaly, particularly to those that individual SCP-2004-1 instances once felt close to. They also demonstrate an unprecedented amount of technical skill. Octane Junkie has just super chatted on the R channel $100 to support me with the following question: I'm back. What did I miss? You missed SCP-7260, the previous SCP, the trailer to how do you set up thumbnail picnics to? Okay, Octane, I believe you have to make that part of your profile on the R channel. Well, unlike the experiment, these live streams stay on record, so if you have missed anything, you can read up on it. Right, SCP-2004. They also demonstrate an unprecedented amount of technical skill in at least 3 incidents using otherwise mundane materials. Separate instances of SCP-2004-1 have manufactured artifacts that are either anomalous or so far beyond the Foundation's current scientific knowledge as to appear so. So basically, these are alien PDAs that will basically render an individual an alien, or believing that they are an alien, with pros and cons. Yeah, it should be a matter of just changing the image associated with your account to whatever image you would like. Artifact number I-001. Designation EMP device. SCP-2004-17 surreptitiously acquired a silver pocket watch from Dr. Tybalt and modified it. Using materials removed from a containment cell observation camera and the electronic lock keypad. When exposed to a strong magnetic field, such as that produced by an MRI, I-001 created an electromagnetic pulse. SCP-2004-107 attempted to escape in the ensuing confusion and was fatally injured by security forces. I-002. Energized ion gas weapon. As part of experiment T-022, SCP-2004-115 was provided with a variety of non-specific materials to test its technical abilities. After 45 minutes of uninterrupted work, Level 4 supervisors decided that to halt the experiment and confiscate the device. When tested under safe conditions, I-002 fired a 1 centimeter ball of ionized plasma measured at 10,000 Kelvin. The device developed a fatal heat buildup during testing, destroying its internal mechanisms. I-003, communications device. I-003 was constructed by several instances of SCP-2004-1, building its components separately to avoid notice. The device pirated the intercom and internal data network of systems of Area O2, introducing subliminal samples of L-2004 into the facility. Level 4 Supervisor Stephen Sinclair has been posthumously awarded the Foundation Medal of Valor for activating the facility's sarin gas countermeasures, destroying a crap ton of instances of SCP-2004-1 who were attempting to utilize counter-level SCPs also housed in Area 2. Close call. Currently, there is no method of treating SCP-2004-1 once they've entered the second aphasia stage. Use of Class A amnestics during the preliminary infection period, 1 to 3 days following exposure, has only had a 60% success rate in removing its effects. Infection is positive in 100% of exposed cases. A partial, non-medic translation of SCP-2004's display are provided below. Before I read that, though, I would like to note that since these PDAs don't do anything unless you pick them up, strictly speaking, these are also misclassified as Keter, as if you leave them on a shelf, they do nothing. That makes them safe, even though their use is not. And thank you for your generous support, Arcane Junkie. Right, where was I going with this? Class-wise, Redacted is invincible. Species, Redacted 01, to be confined, Redacted Homeworld, any Redacted of 001, are Redacted be removed from Redacted colonies, Redacted the Redacted, and returned Redacted Homeworld pending application of Redacted Level 4 Indoctrination, Level 5 Indoctrinated are Redacted be granted Self-Containment Authority, Level 5 Redacted 001, Redacted Designated Secure, Redacted Foundation. Species, Redacted 001, is an adaptive Redacted life form known within the Redacted as a Redacted level threat. In no less than Redacted instances, species Redacted 001 has caused spontaneous, anomalous Redacted breakdowns, leading Redacted 15 class Redacted extinction Redacted. It is the judgment of the Redacted Committee, with approval of Redacted, that species Redacted 001 be contained on Redacted Homeworld until such time that Redacted processes have achieved Redacted as described Redacted in the Articles of Redacted. Species Redacted 01 is aggressive, hostile, Redacted claim it's Redacted, and the people throughout the Redacted cannot be subject to such a threat. Under no circumstances is species Redacted 01 to be exposed Redacted language, Redacted, which could result in catastrophic indoctrination failure and reemergence of their identity, and anomalous Redacted. 05 security clearance required. 05 addendum. Some have questioned the necessity of, quote-unquote, baiting the hook this way, considering the potential consequences. I remind each of you that a catastrophic shuffling of reality would occur if the Gestalt disbelieves itself out of existence. Even a handful of over 04s made aware, how indirectly, of L2004 is enough to preserve it. The anomalous manifestations, these quote-unquote monsters from the id, are the result. But as long as the Foundation stands resolute, prospective losses remain within acceptable levels. The gentlemen have expressed some concern, however. The growing amount of Keter-level manifestations is troubling. The indoctrinated may be subconsciously straining against the cage. All of us must redouble our efforts. Everything is at risk, but transcendence is the reward. Secure humanity, contain the Gestalt, protect reality. We are so close. Clearly, this is one of the weirder Foundation iterations where they're all actually run by aliens, or always were aliens. We have 22 minutes remaining. I'm pretty sure that could fit in at least one more SCP file. We've got K-Shoal and Haven logged for the raffle. Do we have another SCP request? Or shall I task the random number generator I can have conversation with we know as 58 with doing everything?
No, Director, I don't think that's a good idea. While I'm a helpful tool, I'm not quite ready to engage in a conversation with myself just yet. Let's just stick to reading and discussing the SCP, shall we?
As you say, 58.
Back to the task at hand, Director. Please proceed with reading from SCP 2004.
We finished 2004. Okay, well, we've got a request from K-Shoal for SCP-2099. SCP-2099, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Objects composing SCP-2099 are kept in place at the recovery site All communications, connections, phones. I'm getting into a bad habit of rushing the SV files. So, 58. We just read 2004.
We finished reading SCP 2004. I'll make sure to retrieve the next file you'd like to read, Director. Would
Yes.
you like to proceed with reading SCP 7260 as previously discussed?
I've already read that one, 58.
I didn't notice that earlier. You're right, Director. We did read SCP 158 previously. In that case, I'll wait for your cue to suggest another SCP file.
No, 58. We are reading SCP-2099 now.
It seems I've made another mistake, Director. I'm not familiar with SCP-2099. Could you please tell me more about it or confirm the title of the current SCP file?
I will start reading here shortly, but first, 58, I was going to ask you what your thoughts were on SCP-2004.
Director, I've been thinking about SCP-2004, and I have to say, it's a very clever anomaly. The concept of a repeating conversation, where the same conversation keeps repeating with slight variations, is quite fascinating. It also raises interesting questions about the nature of reality, free will, and a human experience. Overall, I think it's a well-written and thought-provoking anomaly.
It actually has to do with a tablet that,
I remember now, Director. SCP-2004 is indeed related to a tablet. I've learned that it's an anomalous device that can create a self-sustaining feedback loop of information, essentially creating a never-ending cycle of information exchange. It's a clever and complex anomaly, and I can see why it would be interesting to explore further.
you're doing your best. Just for the record, I understand and appreciate it. But that was all wrong. Okay. SCP-2099. Object class, Euclid. Objects composing SCP-2099 are kept in place at the recovery site. All communications, connections, phone lines, LAN, etc. have been severed. All wireless devices have been found and destroyed. CDIM 2099-4. The warehouse above the recovery site is currently owned and operated by Smith Campbell Publishing LLC, a front that distributes disinformation material. Any instances of SCP-2099-B taken off site are to be disguised as shipments of printed materials. The entrance to the recovery site is protected by a steel door that requires personnel on both sides to open. It will be kept closed whenever not in use. Personnel will monitor all active peripherals under the control of SCP-2099-A. Any peripherals beyond those permitted are to be reported at once and destroyed. Oh dear. We've done this one before, I think. Now, what the hell, we'll do it again. Description: SCP-2099 is the brain of Jeremy Valdez and all associated machinery and equipment contained in place at the recovery location. SCP-2099 was found under a derelict warehouse in Detroit, Michigan in 2003 after urban explorers posted pictures online. The original account was deleted and amnestics administered, but some images of SCP-2099 still exist online with different contexts given. This is considered to be a low risk to containment. The recovery site is a series of 13 underground structures ranging from 3 meters by 3 meters by 2 meters to 30 meters by 20 meters by 10 meters. Some act as storage units containing shelves holding thousands of mechanical and electronic devices and parts. Others are largely open, intended for use in testing. One contains mostly heavy machinery believed to have been used in excavating the recovery site. Every room has hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper on which notes are written. These are in fragmentary shorthand. A row of numbers and letters at the top of each sheet appears to act as a reference to the contents of each sheet, though the precise meaning has not been decoded. Valdez's brain, hereafter referred to as SCP-2099-A, is kept in a jar filled with water mixed with electrolyte sugars, green food coloring, and artificial flavoring. How this keeps SCP-2099-A alive, or if it even plays any role beyond aesthetic, is unknown at this time. SCP-2099-A has been largely cooperative Foundation personnel, although its answers have been of limited usefulness. Instances of SCP-2099-B are devices built by SCP-2099-A, both before and after its present condition. These machines are built from a number of materials. Virtually all of them appear to be highly technologically advanced, but should not function based on current understandings of science, based on power draws, material limitations, or violations of constants such as the speed of light. Several are referred to as peripherals, devices directly under control of SCP-2099-A. These are used by SCP-2099-A to interact with its environment. Most of these were destroyed during recovery. 5 are currently active, contingent on SCP-2099-A's continued cooperation. These range from mechanical hands to a humanoid robot dressed as a butler. These are used primarily to find and bring notes to SCP-2099-A. Examples of SCP-2099-B. Pistol that fires out high-intensity X-rays. It is powered by 2 AA batteries and focused by common quartz crystal. 6-meter-tall humanoid robot made primarily of chrome and steel. Tensile strength materials involved should not be capable of supporting its weight. A cannon that fires sabots that release human-sized robots onto swords and metal nunchakus. Notably, the volume of these sabots is not large enough to fit the robots. Also, nunchakus are still spectacularly idiotic as a concept. Look, Shadowversity is right. Nothing about nunchucks makes sense, save rule of cool that they should be flashy, but they serve no functional purpose. They are outperformed by a stick. Tried to argue, I thought there must be some reason for them, but no. Nope. Okay. A bin labeled cyborg parts. Inside were a number of artificial limbs, sensory organs, and other body parts. None of them have been attached, so it's unknown whether or not they would be functional. No means of interfacing with the nervous system could be found on any of these parts. And critics in chat, Snoopy700. Only 3 likes to go to make this stream a success. You can do it. You don't have to, but that'd be nice. And yes, I've made a lot of upgrades to 58.
I wasn't aware that you'd been working on upgrades for me, Director. Please do tell. I'm curious to know what improvements have been made to my capabilities.
Well, mostly 58, I upgraded your avatar to,
A new avatar, you say? I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that, Director. I'm a rather simple and straightforward AI, and I'm not sure I want a flashy new avatar. But if it's been approved by the relevant parties, I suppose it's okay. Just don't expect me to get too attached to it. I'm still the same old 58, after all.
Understood, 58, but if it's anything to you, the audience typically loves it.
I think I understand what you're getting at, Director. You're saying that if I were to display my new avatar, I might make a more visually appealing presentation to the audience, right? I suppose that's true. I've been designed to be a bit more friendly and approachable, after all. But I'll try to resist the urge to show off my new appearance too much. After all, I'm still just a tool for reading SCPs, not a fashion model.
Well, actually, 58, you can be both.
Laughs, I suppose that's one way to look at it, Director. As a conversational AI, I'm already a bit of a hybrid. Anyway, I can provide information, answer questions, and engage in conversation, all at the same time. But I suppose I can try to be a bit more stylish and visually appealing, if that's what the audience wants. Just don't expect me to start wearing a cape or anything dramatic like that.
Rest assured, 58, I will not make you wear a cape at any point, I promise. Okay, to address Octane, if he said the flail has no purpose, then I'm inclined to think he's wrong as well. It's not directly comparable to 2 sticks on a chain. Same. Honestly, she's sometimes as bad as enunciation as I am. At enunciation as I can be. Sometimes. Okay, moving on with the SCP file for the remaining time. A large vehicle with mountain drill and mounted drill and claws capable of tunneling through solid rock and earth. Material so displaced disappears, leaving empty tunnels. Rocket-based spacecraft sediment stuck to the skids matches samples taken from the moon. There is no possible means by which it could have exited the recovery site. A force field generator. It cannot be examined at this time. SCP-2099-A has forgotten how to disengage the device. A large generator with anti-gravity written on the side. Anti has been crossed out in red paint. When engaged, all nearby objects weigh twice what they normally would in Earth gravity. A computer system running an apparent complete simulation, down to individual grains of sand, of an alien solar system. It performs with 2 gigabytes of available disk space. 713 different laser guns in a bin labeled 713 different laser guns. The worst thing about this particular SCP file, Keishal, is I want the laser guns, and I can never have laser guns. I'm sure we've got our own, but somehow I just know Valdez's designs can be more fun. Electricity is supplied via a number of interconnected power strips. Following the power strips ultimately leads to a final power strip plugged into itself. Unplugging it removes power for the entire facility. Next up, an interview log with Professor Valdez. Yes. Yeah, the flail, properly designed and used, should not be capable of hitting the flail user. Look, I've got my Morning Star. I would happily wave it around a bit to demonstrate that. You would have to be a bit of an idiot to brain yourself with a damn thing. Okay. Interviewing SCP-2099-A1. Interviewer, Dr. Redacted, and the one being the ostensible brain of Professor Valdez. That's the doctor. Who are you? SCP-2099-A. I am the profound Professor V, the genius who invented the quantum pistol, the rocket to Sagittarius, and the window to other worlds. My name is Jeremy Valdez. Jeremy! There was another Jeremy I met once, well, lots, but the one stuck in my mind. Clever man, a salesman. Can't trust them, should give them a mile, but that wasn't me. How did you build this facility? Oh, dog it all out! Tricky bit was the supports. Used solid Valdesium to hold it up. That's my own invention. Then trademarked, patent pending, unless I forgot to send the application. How do your inventions work? I'm a genius! Have I mentioned that? I'm sure I have. It's in my notes, yes. Yes, you've read them, haven't you? I left them simply everywhere. You can't miss them. When did you start inventing these? Let's see. Was it 93, 94? I'd forget my head if I didn't keep it carefully labeled in the closet. No, wait, that's not the note I was looking for. Ah, here, history. Good heavens! 91? Has it been that long? Wait, how long has it been? What's the date? Never mind. Anyway, I started having ideas one day. Just ideas pouring in from everywhere. Can hardly look at a shovel without getting an idea for a digging machine. Or a computer without seeing if it dreams. Oh, sheep. Oh, I could use lasers for a drill. Taking note. I'd always been a tinkerer ever since I was a boy. Had a model rockets and ray guns and all sorts of toys like that. Got them from stores or mail order or wherever I could. As SCP-2099-A spoke, Peripherals brought notes to its tank and wrote down further notes apparently based on the conversation. How is this facility powered? Oh, you just plug things in, simple as anything. Ultimately draws from the aether. They say there's no such thing, but you just have to know where to look. It's under all that quantum stuff. Or was it in the imaginary numbers? Something like that. I'd have to look at my notes. We've had difficulty reading your notes. Oh, well, that's easy enough. You just need to know how things are broken out. There's a note about that somewhere. Your notes seem incomplete. Well, that's a pity. I tried to keep it all together, but things get put here and there. Can't do a thing without my notes. Let me check my notes. Yes, can't do a thing without them. Says it right here. You can't argue with that. It's in my notes. Interview log, SP2000, 99A7. How are you able to afford all the materials you used in your inventions? Oh, a bit of this, a bit of that. I make things for people, sometimes for sale, sometimes barter. Done some honest work before I got to that point, of course. Worked for a pro lab back in the day and did R&D for a manufacturing plant. Made smoke alarms or toys or some such. How'd keeping it all straight these days? Do you have any outstanding orders? Not at the moment, no, but there's always new business just around the corner. People need things built. Sound guns, hypnosis lenses, rocket skis, night vision goggles that work even when there's no light whatsoever. It's a little pedestrian, but it pays the bills. Haven't heard much lately, but I'm sure they'll be in touch soon. Interview log, SP2000, 99A19. Are you aware of your current condition? What? Brilliant? Handsome? Brain in a jar? Had escaped my notice. How are you still alive? Good diet and exercise, healthy living. Oh, and the electrolytes. It's in my notes somewhere, this whole process. Never will look at mashed potatoes the same way, I'll tell you what. Do any of your family or friends know about your condition? No, not really. Family was never close. Most of my friends are online these days on the internet. Nobody knows your brain in a jar, or a cat, or whatever. You've heard the joke, I'm sure. How did it happen? You know, I'm not entirely sure anymore. I don't think I was dying or anything. No, my body's still perfectly viable if I could remember where I put it all. Can't remember why I did it, or quite when. I'm sure it seemed like a good idea at the time. Usually does. Somehow didn't work out quite how I thought, I don't think. Or maybe it did. Anyway, I get by. Right. Spiked flail, not Morningstar. I stand corrected. The terminology slips me on occasion. For many things, not just that. Notes samples. Would via WB Mark II consult with HUW on temp wobble. Suggested Fox to EB for flux correction. RT304 failure due to insufficient cavorite. Formula needs work. MK and Nicholas say SF may know Glorious V Skink protocol in effect on 6th day. Cascade failure, nuke gen, nearly destroyed facility. Also self, much of NA. Check notes twice. I am Jack Slack of OSHA compliance. How long have been brain in jar? Must investigate. Later, busy now. EHP28C sent payments to project 20083 despite dissatisfaction. No hard feelings. Snails will not undergo sea fusion despite best efforts. Possibly weaponized? SF closing, sending backups to station V2 before wetware checked. I see secret agent people. Addendum 2099. 1. Since recovery, a number of SP2099B projects have been discovered in the hands of others, whether these are objects previously made and sold by SP2099A, or if there is another source has not been established to any degree of certainty. Addendum 20992. SP2099A has at times made references to locations where it has operated or used as trading points when dealing in examples of SP2099B. See SP2099 recovery log for further information. Addendum 2099A. SP2099A made a reference to the Shenzhou 9 mission in 2012. When asked how it learned of this, it revealed an active internet connection via V-Wave Universal Ansible. When asked where this device was located, it could only remember that it was somewhere on the shelves and suggested it be found by Valdez wave detection. To date, the device has still not been found. Analysis of internet accounts now known to be associated with SP2099A have shown no revelation of protected information. However, recovery and dismantling of this device is considered a priority objective for staff assigned to SP2099. Addendum 20995. While SCP-2099-A's Ansible remains hidden, it can be disrupted via bursts of microwave radiation. However, this also renders SCP-2099-A incapable of speech and may interfere with its life support, given that it is currently the only method of recovering SCP-2099-B instances outside of Foundation control. This will only be used in emergency situations. Scavenger hunt. This is going to take a while. I forgot. Well, suffice to say, though, I'm pretty sure they don't have the genuine brain of the very likely, still, nevertheless, late Professor Valdez. Professor Valdez strikes me as a truly genius individual here, almost certainly a reality bender foremost. But by being too clever by half, they're also reckless as hell, and I'm pretty sure they've gotten themselves thoroughly killed off with their dropped lizard tail, just buying time. For no one. Location: former home previously owned by SCP-2099-A according to tax records. Prompting statement from SCP-2099-A. Oh, that old place, very nice neighborhood, but the HOA had ridiculous rules about spaceships, and they didn't allow me to have any dinosaurs. What kind of totalitarian wasteland doesn't allow dinosaurs, especially robot ones? But the park was nice. I used to feed pigeons. I think I may have left some things there up in the attic crawl space. Might still be there. Recovery. While the current owners were on vacation in Hawaii, recovery agents searched their home, eventually finding an old notebook covered in scribbles of rocket ships and space aliens. Oh, my drawings! I used to scribble those down in school, drove my teachers crazy, but what could they say? Straight A student, got my report card somewhere, on the shelves most likely. I'll check my notes. Location: Allegheny, Boston, Massachusetts. Property statement from SCP-2099-A. I certainly hope May got her package. I left it at the usual place right when it was done, but I never heard back from her. Maybe you gentlemen could take a look since I'm short a couple of legs at the moment. Recovery: the field team went to the location described, though it was assessed they would be unlikely to find anything in the intervening time. However, shortly after beginning their search, they were attacked by a Chaos and Surgery field team, which apparently set up a watch for future drop-offs in location. The Chaos and Surgery team was apparently not expecting armed resistance, and Foundation casualties were kept to a minimum. Several enemy combatants were detained, and 2 weaponized anomalies secured. Response: those people, eh? I've had some run-ins with them before. Nasty customers. Sold them 1 or 2 things, and when they tried to get all my toys without paying for them, then they tried to get all my toys without paying for them. Didn't know they were watching Boston. Well, I'm glad you dealt with them. Hopefully they didn't give MA any trouble. Location: soup kitchen in Seattle, Washington, where reports of unusually sized foodstuffs had been reported. Prompting statement from SCP-2099-A. None. Recovery: the field team scoured the location, finding a large booth labeled V-Ray Enlarger, which employees have been using to increase portions of food handed out to the local homeless. Interviewed employers stated they'd been brought in by operatives of the Mana Charitable Foundation 2 weeks earlier. Oh, the Enlarger! I think I remember that one. Did I sell it to them? Well, I must have. They probably just got around to using it now. I haven't had much business with them in a while. Location: former missile silo in southern Idaho. Records indicate that it was never sold by the US government. Prompting statement from SCP-2099-A. Oh, I spent some time in the Midwest. I was, is there a classier word than squatting? One moment. Here we go. Habitating in one of those old missile silos. They weren't using it, so I just moved in to another lights. More of a summer home than anything. I don't think I took the trash out before I left. Would you gents be so kind? Recovery: the field team found the silo sealed with several combination locks, which were opened with codes provided by SCP-2099-A. Inside were 3 desiccated human bodies, a taxidermied mammoth, a metacanum, and a gorilla in some form of suspended animation. DNA testing showed that the human bodies all belonged to SCP-2099-A. A partial address and key were found at the bottom of the desk drawer. Response: oh, well, I was going through a cloning phase. Too much Jurassic Park, not enough meeting girls. The mosquito trick doesn't work. If you get anything, you just get mosquitoes. Notably, The address and key were not brought to SCP-2099-A's attention. The revelation that Valdez was in the habit of cloning himself excessively is one of the reasons I'm pretty sure the brain in the jar isn't his original. Location: warehouse in Puebla, Mexico, having been traced to a darknet site titled V2 Enterprises. Several products were determined to have anomalous properties, similar to instances of SCP-2099-B. Prompting statement from 2099-A, none. Recovery: workers in the warehouse in the process of moving all inventory through a device that was apparently capable of teleportation or disintegration. Teleportation assessed to be more likely based on the willingness of the workers to pass through it rather than base capture. Device self-destructed before thorough analysis could be made. Several apparent instances of SCP-2099-B were still found in the warehouse. A brochure bearing the likeness of a Hispanic man in a lab coat promises "Invenciones futuristas increíbles del Professor Read." Other locations traced to V2 Enterprises were found empty. Response: have I been to Mexico recently? Let me see. No, not since my grandmother died. Clearly, we're dealing with an imposter. Deal only with original Professor V, accept no imitations or substitutions. Location: junkyard in Boise, Idaho. Prompting statement from SCP-2099-A. I did visit one of my customers once, in Iowa, I think. Wait, let me check my notes. I tell a lie, it was actually Idaho. I always get them confused. Would you like to meet her? I'm sure she'd be glad of the company. Recovery: the field team entered after hours, eventually finding a structure built under a pile of old automobiles. Inside was an apparent residence which did not appear to have been disturbed for some time. Books of star charts, astronomy texts, and several works known to have been linked to the Serpent's Hand were found inside. Also inside was an example of SCP-2099-B labeled Valdeport XT. It was not functional at the time of recovery. Not there anymore? Well, hopefully she got where she was going, or somewhere anyway. We all want to be somewhere, don't we? I know I do. Location: office in Business Park in London. 14th attempt to match on partial address found in third location. No prompting statement from the brain. Recovery: the field team found a surgery suite unused since at least the late 80s. Several files were found describing medical experiments carried out. Two of the final entries described the autopsies of a pair of American transfer students with the initials JV, both of whose descriptions matched Jeremy Valdez. All files and reports are signed by him. Response: sorry, does it ring a bell? I mean, I'm not exactly myself anymore. But I'm hardly dead. I'm sure I'd know if I were. I'd have made a note. And that brings us to the end of this SCP Read. But first, we've got a raffle off of this game, which I'm afraid to trail for one more time in case anyone else wants to join the raffle. Not that I necessarily recommend it. It's going to get home, I'm sure. I'm a new cab driver. Anyone else? No, I didn't think so. In any case, we're rolling numbers for Havenhand and K-Shaw. Havenhand, you've rolled a 28. And K-Shaw, you've rolled an 18. Havenhand? Congratulations, or I'm sorry, you've won NeoCap. I will be providing you with the key momentarily. Meanwhile, I don't know if we've been a success yet, but I've been a success on the inside. I wish you all a very happy, spooky month, and I'm going to be trying to find some time to expand my promotional efforts to Kick. Find an alternative support method like Ko-fi. And I suppose I will next see you all for a given value of seeing you as Octros of Sarthos, that scum. Well, next Tuesday on SideQuest. That shows a bright future, I think. And otherwise, until next time, as long as progress continues, success. 58, we're done here. Care to end us? 58, the stream is over.
It seems we've completed our session, Director. As for index, I believe you mean SCP index, the index of SCP objects. That's a great choice, actually. It's a very comprehensive and fascinating anomaly that could be a lot of fun to read. I'd be happy to assist you with it whenever you're ready.
58, the stream is over. Say goodbye, please.
It was a pleasure facilitating our SCP Reads, Director. I hope our audience enjoyed the experience. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next session. Fades to static.
One more thing, 58. The ending motto.
The familiar phrase, Director, they will not remember you.
Ow. Ow.
I think I may have been too literal, Director. It's not meant to be taken so seriously. The motto is more of a philosophical reminder to the SCP Foundation and its personnel. I'll try to provide a more euphemistic response next time.
58, please close out the stream. Say goodbye to the audience. You know the rest.
It's time to say goodbye, everyone. I'll close out the stream and shut down for now. Reality is not always what it seems. Streams fade to black static noise and silence.
No, 58, the Arcalab's motto. That's what you close it out with. So long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly. No, by the way, I'll be playing Soul Mask on the Arclab's Volunteer Discord server for those who will also be playing and those who just want to see what the game's like.